Welcome back to the 2023 Raceline Wheels Rush Off-Road Anniversary Bash. We are about to kick off the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. We were qualifying all morning, and we are about to get racing underway.
Yes, we have the racers on the startup waiting for that green flag, and you know that they're thinking in their heads right now, can't wait for that thing to go green.
It's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am Miles Hasquist alongside Mrs. Pam Hall, and we're going to bring you some of the best Ultra 4 USA racing we have around here. We are here in Rush, Kentucky. The trees are tight. The mud holes are deep. And the dust is going to be thick. It's going to be amazing. This is an 8-mile course. We'll have 6 cars out on course at once. There are 11 either-ors, and what either-or is, it's a spot right in there that you can go left, you can go right. They all lead up to the same spot, but it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and with the either-ors, I mean, that's what pre-running is so key, because one is completely different than the other. So one can be a little bit longer, but it might be faster, and one might be a little bit harder. So those either-ors are...
It's going to be super exciting. But again, the Raceline Wheels, this is the first race in the Eastern Series. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We started off the year at King of the Hammers, but we are back here to Ultra 4 USA, and this is round 1 for the Eastern Series race. And there's a great shot. And look at all these... Toyotas, we've got Jeeps, a little bit of everything. We're missing a few of those Broncos. I hate seeing they're not here, but this is a great class. This is the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. And you have to have a stock OEM frame, factory engine, factory transmission, 35-inch DOT tires, a single 2.5 shock per corner, factory-style suspension, and mechanical steering. But here is the track we were talking about just moments ago. So we are sitting basically right at the AMSOIL hot pits. We're going to go counterclockwise. We'll go up the Brannock Hill first, and that's an either-or with like 3 or 4 different strings to go up, and then hit the Yukon launch around to the Spider Track's backstretch, and then we'll come on down the couple nasty hills you were seeing during the qualifier, and then right back here at the Raceline start finish. It's going to be absolutely amazing, but it's going to be a great race. And there's the track, 8 miles, 11 either-ors. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be exciting. You came out, you did the course marking and everything. Super awesome.
Well, before we kick off this race, I would like everybody to stand up, remove your cap, and we are going to sing the greatest song in the world about the greatest country in the world, our national anthem.
Play national anthem. Play national anthem.
We are about to get this race started. The crowd goes wild, and we are about to kick off the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. And sitting on that pole position is Derek Ausler. Right behind him is going to be
Mr. Adam Cullen, and that number 4642.
In that third position is going to be 4699 Doug Langford.
And the 4619 in that fourth position of Mr. Mick Henson.
In fifth spot, number 624 Roger King.
And then in that sixth position, the 4662 of John Lachey.
It's going to be a great race out there. Remember, this is an hour and a half plus a lap, so right around the hour and a half mark, we'll throw the white flag and one more lap around. It's going to be great to see. The race is about to get kicked off. This is going to be great. Remember, 8-mile course, 11 either-ors, and we are about to go racing. My Rugged Race Radio's got a lot of chatter in it. They're checking all the course, making sure we have a closed, safe course, and we are about to take off.
Now FJ going off the line first there in the number 674 of Derek Osler. That our top qualifier of the day.
He'll get those 7 points going into the Eastern and the National points, so we'll see if that helps him out throughout this season.
And right there, the drone footage right there just shows you that hill that is at the top middle of your screen. That's where they will be coming down. It's super steep right there, as we saw earlier.
We'll take off one at a time in 30-second increments. This race is on adjusted time, so even with all the cars out there, you are still racing yourself. So it'll be down to the wire, like I said, an hour and a half plus a lap. We got a lot of racing yet to come for the 4600 Spider Track stock class.
Yes, we do, and it's super exciting. I love seeing McKinson out there, one of our, he's at all of our races for the most part, and seeing him out here this weekend. He seems to, complete the race every single time. All these guys right here are going to have a blast out there on this course. There's going to be some tough spots for them, but pre-running, that's where it came in handy.
Yeah, we were out there on Thursday. I went out on course a couple times, and there's a lot of people out there pre-running, and this makes a big difference because you can mark your GPS for the low rants and all that, and the lead nav, you can put the notes in there, your dangers, which either or you would rather take. But we were talking that the either ors are great because if you're following somebody, they go left, you better go right. Even if you're not more comfortable with that, that's your only chance to pass because this is a lot of tight trees out here. So we're still clearing the course. We had one little issue. We want a safe track for everybody, so we're making sure this thing's is going to run smooth because, again, these racers are pushing it hard. We got to give them a safe track. So safety's everything out there, and we're doing our best to give them a great racetrack.
And later on when we go into the 4900 UTV class, what's going to be crazy is those either ors, they're going to come in handy.
Oh, yeah. We'll have 65 UTVs racing later on this afternoon. This is going to be amazing. We are here in Rush, Kentucky at Rush Off-Road. This park is over 7,000 acres with over 100 miles of trails. They're open 7 days a week. Quiet time does start at midnight, but if you're out there, come on out. This is an amazing park. You can buy a day pass, a week pass, or a full season pass, and then some special events like this one, and they do some music concerts and whatnot. But EB and his entire crew have been out here all week making this a great, great course for us.
A great course it is. It's so much fun out there. So much, it's a fast course compared to what we've had before, but there's a lot of challenging areas out there as well. So
it sounds like we're getting ready to go live racing. Let's looks like it's the 3, 2, 1. Derek Alsler, number 674, out of Alabaster, Alabama. We are racing in Rush, Kentucky. He is racing for Rusty Nail Racing and his FJ. Raceline wheels, Dirty Life wheels, Warren, Factor 55, Yukon, Coyote Tire, Yoda Mafia, and LFD.
And right there, he had to do that right-hand turn. Of course, earlier we were seeing them go left for the qualifying course, but the main course, he is on it right now. He is going to make a left right here, and this left is very steep. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 different tracks up here, up the Brannock Hill right here, and this is going to be a lot of action. That's where the hot pits join right there. They were just behind us, the Amsoil hot pits. There's a wide right that can go all the way around it, but here's going to be a very... Let's see, he's go right or left here. Okay, so he's going the right. So that's the longest but easiest trail out on this Brannock Hill right here. That's the one I took when I was out on course. But that's awesome. He took that right-hand line because the left hand is definitely steeper, and there is like a little bit of a lip. Off the line now is the 4642. That will be Adam Collin. With Sergio riding shotgun out of Latham, New York with Rock Crawler Racing. He's in a 2004 Jeep JL, Curry, Nitto, Dirty Life, Rock Crawler Suspension, Yukon, Savvy, Predator, Trail Gear, and HP Tuners. So you'll see him blow by the Amsoil hot pits on your right, far right, and then he'll head up the Brannock Hill. And we'll have a couple more cameras out back. We'll have the Yukon launch and then the Spider Tracks back stretch, and then right around to the Raceline start-finish. It's an 8-mile lap. I think the stock guys are going to be in that 22-ish minute lap. Maybe 20. Maybe 20. It's an 8-mile loop. Yeah, you could. Well, we always usually bet on this. I haven't done my betting on that one, but I'm going 22 for the stock class. And I'm going 13 for the UTVs. I'm going to go with a 20 and 21. I'm going to go with a 21. All right, 46.99 going off the line of Doug Langford. With Rob Craven riding shotgun out of Greensboro, North Carolina with Outlaw Off-Road. In a Jeep JLU with a 392 Hemi, so big horsepower. Curry, Fox, Nitto, Raceline, PRP.
So this should be the Yukon launch with Doug Ausler. So there's Derek Ausler, our first truck on course out there, making a good run. All 4 tires look like they're in good shape. Derek has a great run going. You see the Warren emblem up front. He's ready to winch if he needs to.
And, you know, Miles, it looks like everybody is taking that right-hand lane that you were talking about that Doug took earlier, or Derek took earlier, the first car off the line. So everybody seems to be going to that right-hand line off the start.
So so this is actually Trail 69, I believe. So we aren't quite to the Yukon launch.
All right.
So that's that first little tight rock section right there.
And that is Mick Henson just now took the green flag.
Mick Henson out of Tahlequah, Oklahoma with Rusty Nail Racing in a 1985 Toyota SR5, DAO racing engine, and diamond axles. He's been racing with us for quite a while. Mick Henson out on course running all by himself with no co-driver. So we'll see Mick Henson take a left up the Brannock Hill. We'll have 6 cars taking off in 30-second increments.
And there we go. That's Adam Collin right there that you see.
Coming up Trail 69. It's a nice little rock crawling section. It's fairly long, lots of big boulders, and there's an either-or right there where you take a right. It's the easier, or you can come kind of straight at that camera, and it's a kind of a ledge, or you can do this side hill around a tree. It's a pretty fun spot to watch.
All right, 624, Roger King just took that green flag from Mr. J.T. Taylor.
Roger King with Jared Johnson riding shotgun out of Sparta, Tennessee with Team Robbie Bobby. He's in a Jeep TJ. Rock Crusher 60 axles, Mickey Thompson, Raceline, King, and Brannock. He's been racing with us for a long time. Team Robbie Bobby, Roger King. So there's Doug Lanford heading up the wash right here. It's a fun little rock crawling section. We had to clear a lot of trees out of there. There's some down trees that went over, and you could fit under it, but it would have ripped everybody's antenna off. So we had to cut down a couple trees over that canyon and cleaned her up, and it's ready for trail riding
and it's a
racing.
Tight area as well right there. Not super tight, but you're talking about the trees above. Yeah. You don't want those antennas gone. You need that radio communication.
Yeah, you
with
need
your
those rugged race radios to communicate to your pits, let them know how you're doing, if you need any parts. The Amsoil Hot Pits, I think, will be pretty busy today.
Yes, and there was the 4662 of John Lachey just took that green flag.
Yeah, John Lachey out on course in another Toyota. So I believe that is the last one to leave the line out of Milford, Michigan with LMS Off-Road. He's in another 1985 Toyota. Diamond rear axle, Lachey Machining, Bill Stein, Yukon, and Contour Graphics. So Roger King is having some issues on the Brannock Hill.
Looks like he took the left-hand side of that. There is a wider line right there, and he was on the left-hand side, and it's just a little bit too much of a lip there for him to get up and over.
It's very steep there as well. I flip back to Mick Henson as he's bouncing through. Remember, this truck has leaf springs on it. Great to see him out there still pushing strong. Mick Henson coming up the trail. Again, if you were just tuning in, we want to thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. This is the 2023 Raceline Wheels Rush Off-Road Anniversary Bash. I love the old school Toyota. That thing, it's been beaten and battered. It still has the rear glass in it. He's built this truck from scratch. He works on Toyotas at home. That's kind of his thing. He's known back in the Oklahoma area as a Toyota guy, and he puts them through. I think the doors don't quite match what it used to be. I think he's bent through them a few times, but it's cool to see the doors still work on that old school Toyota. So there's Roger King stuck on Brannock Hill. That beautiful Ultra 4 flag right in the way.
And the breeze has picked up, Miles. You were saying earlier there was
earlier
no
it was
breeze.
still, but it's
you know
nice.
what it's doing? It's blowing the clouds in, so it'll start raining later.
There's a good chance. Yeah, right now it's hot. It's beautiful. It's 80 degrees outside. The sun is shining. The wind just started to pick, but there's a front that's going to move through this evening.
And Roger King is having problems getting up that hill on the right-hand side. He is still stuck right there. Just not enough momentum, I don't think, is what his issues going on right now with him.
Yeah, tough break for Roger King. He'll be racing tomorrow as well in the 4,400 race.
Oh, and look, he got some momentum, and maybe that's just what he needed. Maybe he's having some issues getting into low range or something. I'm not sure, but it looks like he's going to finally make it up the top of that hill.
Yeah, this is the 4,600 Spider Track stock class. You have to have a stock OEM frame. Wheelbase must stay within 3 inches. Factory engine but may be replaced with any available engine in the same make, year, and model. Factory transmission, 35-inch DOT tires, single 2.5 shock per corner. Factory style suspension, leaf spring, coil spring, TTB, etc. Has to have mechanical steering. There's John Lachey heading up the Trail 69. Rush Off-Road has a lot of trails out here. They do a lot of work cleaning them up. This is an amazing park. We're in the tri-state area just between Ohio, West Virginia, and northeast Kentucky. We're just outside of Ashland, Kentucky here at Rush Off-Road. 7,000 acres of some of the finest trails you can find. Anything from mild to wild.
Yesterday out on course with media, there was 2 tractors. Did I show you
I saw
that picture?
some lawnmower tractors out there
Yeah.
goofing around.
Pretty funny what you see on the trails out here. But
the
having
redneck
fun.
way. When in doubt, figure it out. They're out here having fun.
I've never heard that part. When in doubt, what'd you say?
When in doubt, figure it out. So let's give a huge shout out to Jason and Gayla Robinette and all the volunteers, the Ultra 4 USA staff, AOE, MAO crew, the media, safety, USAC, racers, fans, and marketing partners. We would not be here racing in Rush, Kentucky without all of that.
Here
So
we
that
are
looks
there.
like Roger King.
Yes, exactly. Got it out right before I did. Yes, that Roger King made it up that hill, which is awesome. And this is that Trail 69 you were talking about?
That's a fun little rock crawling section. And we'll be waiting for our leaders to head down the Yukon launch about halfway through the course.
Looks like he's having some more problems, or he needed to take a different line. But you know what? It's a long race.
And don't forget, you can go to live.ultra4racing.com for our live timing. So we have got a lot of race yet to come. There's the tortoise and the hare. There's always that game. They did take off in 30-second increments. This race is on adjusted time. There's Doug Lanford. Looks like he is at our Yukon launch area. And they're going to be coming around that really fast.
And launching it is, watching the cars yesterday, just trying to figure out their lines. It's quite a drop-off right there, and I can see why it's the Yukon launch.
A great shot of our crowd in the Raceline start-finish area. It'll be filling in more and more. And then tomorrow night, there'll be $20,000 on the line for the America Pro Rock bouncers. It'll be fun to watch them as well. They'll be heading up basically right by where we're coming down, just before the start-finish.
There's our crowd that we do have over there watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. You're going to see some amazing racing all day long and tomorrow, all weekend long. There's a great drone footage right there of the area that we're in. So much more to this park. There's 7,000 acres here, but that right there, the camping, that's just in this area alone. So many people here.
And they've done so much work. They've been flattening out a lot of stuff. It's absolutely amazing as Mick Henson is coming around. He is at the Yukon launch area. Making some good run, but I don't see Derek's dust, so looks like Derek is still out front. And then it was Doug Lanford and then Mick Henson. Did Adam Collins, did we miss him? I'm not sure. But, yeah, back to all the campers here. I believe there's 2,500 tickets that got sold to this event this weekend, and they just pack in everywhere, and it's amazing. But remember, we're not too far from Ashland, Kentucky. They've got a lot of restaurants, a lot of hotels, and it's absolutely amazing. This is the 2023 Raceline Wheels Rush Off-Road Anniversary Bash. Lots of great action yet to come. We just kicked off the 4600 Spider Track Stock class. We qualified this morning, and it was fast. It was fun. It was a great show.
It went by a lot faster than I think a lot of us were expecting. But, we had a few issues, but those were all good. Everybody's all good on the issues. But it was a lot of fun to see these drivers qualify on that short loop, but it was still technical because the downhill's so steep over here. You couldn't come down full speed because the turn was off camber and you could bite your tire and make you go over. But it definitely was a challenging qualifying course this morning.
Yeah, because you could absolutely overdrive and cause yourself some issues. We saw a couple tumbles, but everybody was okay. I hope they can get their cars back together now here racing. But, man, it's been a great start to the week. It's amazing. We started with qualifying, now this, and then here in a little bit we'll have 65 UTVs out on this 8-mile course.
It's amazing.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be a good time.
It's amazing to have that many out here on that little course, and that's why you guys are starting them 20 seconds apart, so 2 at a time, so we can get them all off the line, so nobody is coming in on their first lap.
It's going to be
overlap.
Pretty busy out there as we keep racing along. And don't forget, tonight we have the youth race at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so that'll be a lot of fun to watch. It's been a great day of racing thus far, and we are just getting started. We just got all the 4600 Spider Track stock cars off the line. It's been a great start. We're going to wait, hopefully about 10 or 15 more minutes. We'll see them in, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the 2023 Raceline Wheels Rush Off-Road Anniversary Bash. We are racing for the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. You haven't missed much action. We got 6 cars out on this 8-mile course, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out. Who's coming out of the woods first? Is it going to be Derek Alser, Mick Henson, Doug Lanford, Roger King? I mean, there's Adam Collin. There's quite a few cars out there. It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because it's like somebody could have got stuck somewhere, or having issues on course and somebody could have got around somebody. So right now it's just like a waiting game.
Yeah, it's a waiting game, exactly. This race did start earlier this year at King of the Hammers, was the first race for Ultra 4, and now this is our first Eastern Series race. So we were following Tyler Rimreed around. Our very own George Cruz did his first documentary, and we're going to take a little quick peek, and here it is.
What's that? I said snack, I smiled back, gold face. This is what the race can be like now.
And when the race started, you couldn't see 5 feet in front of your car, and you're going 70 miles an hour because you don't want to hit anybody. And so we ended up, I took a line on the outside, and it was a clear, and I just sent it, and I passed 4 cars in the dust. So that was, it's terrifying because you're moving and you can't see anything in front of you, and all it would take is to have someone stop, and you could just hit them. So. You just did 80 miles of the desert, and now you come back through and you go back through the short course section, which is where we started. That's main pit. We stopped at main pit, collected our thoughts, had to take a breather because what we were about to do was the rocks, and that was the most challenging part of the race. So we came in, took a breath, and then once we went back out, you kind of just start lap 2, which is the rock section, and then you go from there.
John, you got a copy on me?
Yep.
No, it unplugged. It unplugged.
You got me? You got me?
No, it unplugged. Plug it back in. There. Now I got it. All right, buddy. Keep it together in the rocks. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work.
I was not looking forward to the rocks by any means. The desert's the fun part. The rocks is where it gets real nasty. And that's where you can make a.
And that is a quick glimpse of just a little bit into Tyler Rimreed's day there at King of the Hammers, the first race of this season. Great to see that. But don't forget, you can go to AOE.tv and catch the entire documentary by our very own George Cruz. He did a great job with it. I've seen a little more than that, but go to AOE.tv and check out the rest of that. Tyler Rimreed, he'll be racing this afternoon. His dad, Todd, will be racing as well. It's great to see the MAO family come together.
And how cool is it to see the behind the scenes, not behind the scenes because, well,
it's behind the scenes,
but
it is.
I mean, to see
100%.
all of that.
I mean, behind the lens.
People that don't know what goes on in the race car, you just saw just a glimpse of it.
And you heard him talking about the dust. I think we're going to be fighting that issue later on today. Is that Adam Collin, I believe? That's the Spider Track backstretch. Yes, it is coming up. That's a fun little fast section.
This
and
whole
look
track.
at the dust. So he got around
he did. Look at that.
Derek Ausler. So Adam Collin really making some moves. He started in what?
Adam Collin was
third?
in second position.
Yeah, in second. So he made around Derek Ausler. So he's 30 seconds plus whatever we just saw, another 15 seconds. So Adam Collin with Sergio riding shotgun, looking good out there on course.
And it's really cool because there's a lot of fast section on the course compared to what we've had in the past, but there's also those technicals. So it's fast, technical, so much, and it's all about driving skill.
And there's Doug Lanford not too far back. So it's only about 30 seconds between the top 3. So it's going to be a really interesting to see how that shakes up. He's not far off Adam. So on adjusted time, it's going to be super, super close. Obviously, Adam got around Derek, so he's got him on time for sure, but it's still really early in this race. We've only been racing for about 20 minutes out of an hour and a half plus a lap. So they'll be out there for an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes.
I'm just hoping that all of them complete this because it is hard on these race cars.
To finish first you must finish.
Yep.
So you need to keep this car. It's a long game. I call it a sprint endurance. But I promise you, the UTVs and the 4400, it's going to be it's going to be a sprint.
Yes, it will. It will for sure.
Yeah, I think we're probably about 5 minutes out from seeing our leaders, if I had to guess, coming down, and then they'll go past the race line, start, finish. So we're just patiently awaiting while we're watching the 2023 Raceline Wheels Rush Off-Road Anniversary Bash. There's a lot of good racing out there on course right now, and here the next race. We'll have 60 plus UTVs out on course at one time. Right now we have 6. Now we're going to have 10 times the cars out there. They're going to be faster. That dust is going to be doing. The breeze is out.
It is out. I don't mind it though, because the sun is out and the breeze is making it a lot nicer.
It is absolutely beautiful here on the Project X desk up here, right in the middle. We are just 20 feet off the start line. It is absolutely amazing.
We have the best seat in the house.
It's
we
great.
can watch the cameras. We got them starting right behind us. I love this. I love this view.
But if you can't be here on site, go to AOE.tv, go to speedsport.tv. We have our we have our app. You can go to our Ultra 4 and MAO Facebooks. Check it out. Start a watch party. Hashtag it up. Show where you're coming from.
And there we go. We have some of our viewers and our audience out here. Some puppy dogs over there with their family members.
So we'll be seeing him coming down. Here's Mick Henson. So he's on that Spider Track stock bypass back there. So he'll be the Spider Track backstretch coming through. So he's, about 3 minutes off the pace. So he's still trugging along, doing well.
Still moving. That's what matters.
So there's a shot of the downhill. So to the right of your screen is about a 20-foot straight down, and then you take a hard right, you go across a little shelf road, and then a hard left, and that's the track you can see that's really burned in that we ran during qualifying. So the end of the qualifying course is the same course we'll be running all day.
Yes, and at the bottom of that, it did get a little bit rutted out, which is fine, but that's where they have to make sure, when they're coming down, you don't want to go super fast, because we did see, one of our UTVs did do a little flip-flop right there.
Yeah, we had a few issues, and you're going to see on the right of our screen there's some tires. So we took those flags away. All my flags got taken out, so we replaced them with big tires, partially for safety, because Anna don't want to put them up again. But
well, and
out
some
there,
of the ones over here, Weaver went hiking this hill, and some of the Ultra 4 USA flags got taken down as well. So we'll go get those later on and put those back up for tomorrow's race.
Yeah, it's been a great week out here. I showed up Saturday evening, and JT and I came out here and scouted all day Sunday, cut trees Monday, Tuesday. I mean, we've been out here for over a week getting everything put together. You showed up early, and, it's all hands on deck when we come out here, because I don't get to just chat about it. I get to be out in the woods running the chainsaw, but I love it. I mean, that's part of seeing the trail. You know how hard this course is. And talk about the course, it's tough. There's a lot of big trees. There's a lot of sections. And do you guess left? Do you guess right? There's a great shot of one of our trails right there. It's this place, it can bite you at any moment.
Yeah, and you talk about, that's fun going out there and doing that. That's actually my favorite part of this job, honestly. Like, I love doing this, but my favorite part, not only getting, to meet all these racers and talk to these racers, but getting out there and working on the race course and seeing the race course and what they're doing.
Firsthand, absolutely.
It's interesting to, the way JT works, and his brain is going the whole time he's on race course, and he always lays out an amazing race course for these racers. Make sure there's options if there's areas where it could get plugged up, and he puts out a good race course and has a great team behind him. Gus and Angel and everybody else out here, everybody's out here working hard.
And there's Liam O'Donnell, our USAC rep, making sure everything's good in the AMSOIL hot pits. We got a lot of great food vendors out there. We just had lunch, and it was great. So come on out. We got a lot of action going. And we're going to be racing all weekend long. And then Sunday, everybody's heading home. But we're picking up.
We're picking up, then heading home. And then heading to Wheatland.
So there's a great shot of the AMSOIL hot pits right there. You see those? They got the Nitto tires. Everything's ready. Because hopefully they don't have to come in here, but sometimes you have to. It looks like that's Doug Lanford, if I had to guess, with that rock crawler mat.
And look at that. They have their pit set up. They look like it's a photo op over there.
Right next to
Great
the
photo op
Raceline
from
flag,
Nitto.
getting everything checked out.
Hopefully they don't have to come in and get any tires. Now, you know another thing I didn't actually pay attention to, which I usually do, if they're running a spare, because it being such a short course, some racers don't
You
run
are
a spare
correct.
tire.
I hadn't thought of that either. I assume they are, but this is a pretty fast section.
Exactly.
And there's not a. I mean, there's some rocks. There's definitely some trees out there. But yeah, that'll be interesting to start paying attention to. Good,
Yeah,
good catch.
Usually on these short races, we pay attention to that, and I didn't even pay. I think everything was happening so fast this morning, I didn't even think about that.
And we will be giving away some trophies here in just a little bit. So thanks to Cody Wagner with LaserNut. And then 360 did the wrap on it. So it'll be really cool to see those trophies. And it looks like we do have one coming in.
All right, that is a Jeep. I can't tell which color it is right now.
I think that's Doug Lanford.
It
It is.
look like it is
So there's Doug Lanford coming in. He started in that third position, so he's made 2 passes.
Oh,
so
he's
Doug Lanford
having to back up right
overshoots
there.
the turn a little bit. So he'll back up real quick and then head down the lane.
That's a sketchy, so steep right there, having to back up like he did.
So Doug's coming down. He'll be making his first lap. And what are we going to be around? Is it going to be that 25-minute mark? We're
yeah,
over
I think
that.
I'm a little wrong on my timing for sure,
So
but
26:37.
yep.
Okay, so I was close. We'll see if they can memorize the course a little bit more and head back out as he blows by the Amsoil hot pits. And that little spot he hit right there, if you hit it at speed, it's kind of a little ski jump, but you have to have the speed. And there comes Derek Alsler, not too far. He was on the pole, so he is definitely behind on time, but he's still pushing strong. And we'll see. The race is still young.
It looks like right there where he was making that left-hand turn, it looks like it's a little hard for these guys to actually make that turn right there. Like
Well,
we
it's
saw
the same
Doug
place
doing.
we qualified at.
Right, exactly.
So we're doing those about 27 minutes. We'll do about 5 laps, maybe 6, but probably around that 5 laps here in the 4600 Spider Track stock class. As that FJ Toyota still trugging along, Derek Alsler. And he's going to check up for a little ski jump.
Yeah,
But
that
the
one can definitely
UTVs here in a
kick you.
little bit. No, the UTVs will be flying off that later on this afternoon.
But you could just see when he went through it, if he would have went through it a little bit faster, it could have possibly kicked him.
It could have. We saw that happen on the open jump a couple times. And you were checking in on social, and it looks like Cody Quattlebaum had that
Right.
tumble, and he is out of the race, you said?
And that's what I read, yes. So
tough
they're
break
going to
for
be
him.
watching the rest of the race family this afternoon and wishing them good luck and more information about Cody. He's fine. He's just a little banged up, and that car's a little banged up.
He's
so
been working on that car. It's a debut of that car, so I hate to see that for him. But, hey, that's part of racing. He'll get back out there, get the car going, and we'll see him at the next one, I'm sure.
It's just so unfortunate. It's all a part of the game, though, right? That's what racing is.
Derek Alsler making up the Brannock Hill, and there's a great shot of the crowd once again. Lots of people out there.
The drone shots, I always love it because you can see all the different trails. We're not using all of those trails, but you can see how many trails are actually out here.
7,000 acres, over 100 miles of trails out here. It's absolutely amazing here at Rush Off-Road. EB and his whole crew does an amazing job out here. And new to 2023, everybody who is a registered racer will receive an Air Evac Life Team free of charge. Oh, there's our leader up Trail 69, Doug Lanford. So he's about 2 minutes into his second lap. So Doug's making his way up. He takes the right line around this little either-or. Remember, there's 11 either-ors out there, and that's going to help. Ooh, here comes
There's
Mick Henson.
Henson
So he'll be coming
down.
finishing his first lap. Mick Henson
not
played with us at BMR. He raced Clyde's stock class.
He's not too far behind.
And he takes those leaf springs, does a little bunny hop, and he's pushing strong. Remember, the race is early, so he's still got a lot of room to work with. There's back to Derek Alsler.
So it looks like on corrected time, Mick Hinson actually is running in that number 2 spot unofficially right now.
Yeah, remember this race is on adjusted time, so go to live.ultra4racing.com. And I thought they took off in 30 seconds, but on the timer it looks like a minute, so I'll have to verify that.
And Derek right there on screen there. And the 46.62 right there, that is John Lachey.
So, yes, sorry, I said 30-second increments, but it was 1 minute increments this morning since we only had 6 of them. So getting confirmation through that through my rugged race radios. And here's Adam Collin coming through. We saw him earlier doing good, but he must have had a little bit of a hiccup. But he's still running strong. Looks like all the tires are there. There is a spare on the back. It still looked like it had air, so not quite sure what happened, but he's still trucking along. And I was talking to Sergio, his co-driver, earlier, that his high range, he can't climb these steep hills. But his low range, he can't go fast in the backstretch. So he's going to be shifting the transfer case quite a bit in that Jeep until they get that gearing quite dialed in. But Alan Collin, fairly new to the Ultra 4 world, but he's out there having fun. And Sergio's a co-driver for quite a few people. John Schaefer in the stock class quite a bit. He's out here representing Warren for us this weekend, so great to see him. Justin's here. And Greg with Raceline Wheels up there, been chatting with everybody, keeping everything rolling good. Nitto's here on site. And just, I mean, look at the hills here. The trees are thick. These drone pilots do a great job. I love watching them fly that close to the trees.
Well, and we've seen a few, go into the trees this morning. They go and recover them and make sure they're all good and get them back out there for us so you guys can have this amazing view right here. And there's another great view if you can see all the drones. And
Mick Hinson back on course.
Hinson and all the campers that were out there. But Mick Hinson trailing along there.
He was breaking that engine in, when was that? That was Nationals in Oklahoma. We were out there doing a little pre-site work, and that's his kind of stomping grounds. So he was out there breaking in the new engine while we were building course. So great to see it still trucking along. An Oklahoma boy, Mick Hinson. I know our crew has been following him quite a bit. He races a lot of our Mid-America stuff as well. If you are just tuning in, this is the 2023 Raceline Wheels Rush Off-Road Anniversary Bash here in Rush, Kentucky. It's a beautiful facility here in the tri-state area. We're right on the edge of Ohio and West Virginia here in northeast Kentucky. That's Adam Collin, I believe.
It's kind of hard to tell with the lighting and all the shade and everything, and plus, obviously, they've gotten dusty as well.
Yep, it's getting dusty, and then tomorrow they'll all be brown, so it'll be tricky, and it's awful bright out here, so. But Adam Collins still pushing along. We started with 6 trucks. What do we have through here now? Just 4, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, we've had 4 come through.
So we're still waiting on Roger King and John Lachey.
Doug came through with a 26.37 lap. Mick Hinson came through with a 28.17. Derek Osler came through with a 29.15, and Adam Cullen has came through with a 31.54. So those are our lap times.
I'm still thinking the UTVs later on in the day will be in that third. I think they're going to break into the 13s.
That's what JT was guesstimating, 13, right?
That's been our guess. They're right around that 13-minute mark. In an 8-mile loop, they are going to be back in the back section. It's a lot of high speed, wide open, but there's trees everywhere. So you're going to drive fast, you're going to push hard, but the dust is going to be thick, absolutely. Well, there's Justin with Factor 55 playing with his daughter around the fire pit, enjoying everything out here that's Ultra 4. It's a family affair for sure.
Oh, there we go, Roger King.
There's Roger King, good call.
Good to see that he hasn't had any other issues, hopefully on the backside of the race course. But
that's at the Yukon launch camera. So Roger King, we saw him struggling on the Brannock Hill earlier. Not sure what was going on, but he's still pushing through.
There we go. We have
That
another.
Doug Lanford. That is our physical race leader. He's already running into lap traffic. So we're going to see how quick he can get around Roger King. And it's kind of a gentleman's race.
Right.
Once Roger sees that the leader's behind him, he's going to understand. Give him a couple toots. Maybe a tap, but let him know you're back there. He wants to get around.
Well, and with all 11 either ors, I don't recall a race ever having 11. It's amazing
a lot,
we have
yeah.
so many. It is tight out there. You need to make sure you have areas for people to pass, and so things don't get bottled up. But 11 either ors, he'll come up on one if he can't get past him on another section, and
All
I'm
right,
sure
this
he'll
is
take
right-
it off a different side.
This is towards the end of the lap. That red tape is where the qualifying went right there so we're coming up the qualifying loop right now. This is not part of race course for the rest of the weekend. As the drone flies back in, you'll see the Raceline banner off to your left. And we go up and over the end of the race course. So we're still a few minutes before we see Doug Lanford come through.
I'm just going to be interested to see how quick Doug does this lap. Obviously, he's coming into, lap traffic, but it's going to be interesting to see if he picks up his time on this one.
Yeah, because he was battling early, so he had some issues going on there, but he got around some people, and everything's going good. There's Derek Ausler heading down the Yukon launch as we speak, so lots of action out there on course. This is the 4600 Spider Track stock class, and it's been a great race. Lots of action, and it's only going to get bigger, better, and faster as we go. So while we wait for some of this racing action to come to us, remember, we're still early in this race. So while we wait for some more action yet to come, this race is just coming together. We'll see where Doug comes through, but so far so good. It's been a lot of fun, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more racing action.